Hello, studio mates, and welcome to the final week of class. And this week I'm going to be doing a PechaKucha, a 20 slide, 20-second each presentation that is going to be a reflection on my EdTech journey. No, not that kind of journey. It's actually a journey at which I am now at the end. I'm going to be completing my 5th class and earning the postgraduate certificate in learning design and technology, and I decided that I'm going to just call it a day and not take any more classes. So why? I hear the shock and amazement now. For me, despite doing very well in this graduate program, I find that just being a student is just very stressful on me, and I think that where I am now with my certificate, I'm quite happy with the way things are sitting. But don't you want that master's degree? And think about how great it would be to have that MED after your name. Also consider, the potential for pay increase and promotions. All these things are definitely being considered, and I think there's a lot of benefits that I could have, especially since, according to my former boss, Dr. Ron Costello, who just recently left Penn State to take a vice chancellor position down at University of North Carolina, online learning ain't going anywhere, and Ron has proven that because he's headed off to start up an online program at a pretty big school. And Ron is right. Online learning isn't going anywhere, and quite frankly, at my school right now, I'm pretty much functioning as the instructional designer. We just hired someone who's going to be starting next week, but guess who all the faculty are coming to with questions as Penn State transitions to Canvas? Here's a hint. It's me. And I'm going to tell you what, over the past 5 semesters, there has been tons that I have learned about course design, how to properly put things together, how to set up online classes, and it's an experience that has been invaluable to me. But is just having the certificate enough? Well, given that I've spent the past 20 plus years of my life working with things like this, and drawings like this, usually in an environment that looks something like this, and making sure it works all the time and on time, then I think it is quite enough. So let's reflect, shall we? Looking back at everything that I've done over the past 5 semesters and what I've accomplished, and mainly focusing on what I've accomplished this semester and, seeing where things stand with me. So, about 2.5 years ago, I accepted a position at Penn State, pretty much, again, doing the same thing I have been doing, except there was going to be much more of a role involved with instructional design. So, a couple months into it, I figured I should probably start working towards getting an advanced degree with instructional design. And lo and behold, Penn State had a graduate program that was online that would actually suit my needs exactly. Even better is there was a halfway point in which you could achieve a certificate. I was hesitant at first about an online program, but I still went ahead with it. I was very fortunate to start off my program with Dr. Roy Clariana in his Insys 415 class, which gave a real good look at systematic design. That was followed up with 832, which was how to design an LMS. Then I had the horrible Gaming to Learn class, which I would advise against anyone taking. After that was LDT 467, which looked at a lot of the new technologies that are emerging. And then Design Studio, which was a class that I was really looking forward to taking because I knew that it was going to be very hands-on and very production-oriented, which was something I was very much looking forward to. In particular, the HTML module, which ended up actually being what I think the most challenging of all the modules. There was also a good amount of reading. One in particular was about designing in the wild, which I don't believe this picture is what they meant, but there were some really great readings that I think challenged us to look at design in a different way. The first module I did was the one on flipping the classroom, which was very interesting because I have been familiar with flipping classrooms in the past, but I never really got a chance to do one, so I ended up creating a lesson that probably went on a lot longer than it should have about about astronomy and the Messier objects. Then after that was the HTML, CSS, and jQuery module, which while I learned a lot from it, it darn near gave me a nervous breakdown. But I was able to, create a nice little web page using CSS and jQuery about camping, which is another hobby of mine, and found it to be very interesting. And I actually realized that I kind of get CSS right now. Photoshop was also one that I chose, which I found kind of interesting because I've been familiar with Photoshop for many years, but never actually sat down to play with it. So it was a lot of fun to do it, and it was even kind of amusing because we got to kind of create a little collage. There was like they do in school, the old "About Me" posters. And finally, I went into video editing, which was something I worked with a little bit back in a long time ago in college, and was something that I did have a feel for. But I went to college long enough ago that video editing is extremely different. So I got to play around with Adobe Premiere and found that to be pretty enjoyable. So what does it add up to? Well, for one, there was a lot of stress. This class did involve quite a bit of work, but in the end, it is definitely worth it because there was a lot that I learned, and in hindsight, once again, I've learned a lot more about design, and I think that's what this is really all about. And that, of course, brings us to the 20th and final slide. I'm hoping I get this in the proper timing, but it's been a great semester, and really I look back on this program and know that I've learned a lot. And to all of you studio mates and to Dr. Hooper, I wish you the best and good luck in all your future endeavors.